back to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational channel where we have conversations with and about children and young people in Africa, and we aim to inspire the current generation of leaders across Africa. Do tell a friend to tell a friend. If you are new here, you are most welcome. I appreciate you. I appreciate your presence. If you are a returning subscriber, asante sana. Today, I will be taking you along to one of my classes. If you've watched my two previous videos, you know that I am now at the Kenya School of Law, training to be an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So make sure you check out my two previous videos on how to be a lawyer in Kenya and ready for the Kenya School of Law. Now, today, like I mentioned, I'm taking you to one of my classes, which is criminal litigation. A short story about criminal litigation is that initially I thought criminal litigation and trial advocacy was the same thing. And it's only after I had done a class on trial advocacy, I think, that I started wondering why I hadn't done criminal litigation. Because trial advocacy comes at the end of the week. And I just couldn't understand why do I know that I need to do 9 units, but I've only done 8? And it's only that now, after we attended the first criminal litigation class, that I realized, oh, criminal litigation, trial advocacy, not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. So it's been almost a month now, and I am no longer confused. I promise I am not confused. I know the subjects that I need to undertake during my advocates training program in Kenya. So when I'm going to class, the first thing I usually do is ensure that my technical side is sorted. So as you can see, I have electricity, so I always ensure that I have electricity. The next thing I do is ensure that my laptop is well charged, because if the lights happen to disappear when you're in online school, then it means you're not going to attend that class. So I ensure that my laptop is charged most of the times, at least. So it's charged. Then also I had a challenge when I initially started classes where during the lessons my internet would just drop. So I got this cable, I think it's called an Ethernet cable or something. So I connect it from the router to my laptop, and once my laptop is connected, then my internet is a bit stable, and rarely do I drop off the class because of internet connectivity issues. Although we are being provided with bundles to also complement our study, so in case there's no Wi-Fi or the lights disappear, at least there's some little data for me to log into class. Then I also ensure that I have a mouse. There's a touchpad here, but I just prefer using a mouse. It's just easier on my hand to use. Then I also ensure that I have the class link. So the class link is sent very early in the morning. It's usually sent to our email. So I always ensure that I have it, so that when it's time to log into class, all I need to do is just log in and start the class. So that's usually sorted. Then ensure that my desk is all clear. My desk had a newspaper where I was reading about all the happenings of the country. As a lawyer, as a law student, you need to be aware of what's happening in the country. So I was just checking out what's happening. The most recent issues are the changes in the judiciary. We have a new chief justice. We have 34 new judges who've been appointed by the president after being interviewed by the Judicial Service Commission. So just being aware of what people are talking about when it comes to such issues in the legal space is very important. But during class, I clear out my desk. I also clear out my notebook. This notebook that I usually use to just attend meetings that are not school-wise. So I put it aside and ensure that my desk is just all about school. Then for taking notes, I just use my 3 pens and a ruler, my blue, red and black pens, and my ruler. That's what I use. For the other many stationaries that I have here, I use them to read notes, or when I'm to take notes when I'm reading on my own, because it's faster, and it also enables me to highlight the things that I need to highlight. I will show you later once I've done like comprehensive reading and I can show you what I've been doing. Then I take out my exercise book, ensure that it's on my desk. Like I mentioned, today it's criminal litigation, so I put it on my desk. Then also ensure that my textbook for criminal litigation is with me. We rarely use it during class, but in case the lecturer says, who knows what this means, I like to have something to refer to. Of course, we also have Google, where you can just open a tab and check it out, so no need to worry. Then also in terms of books, I also ensure that I have the relevant statutes and the constitution. So the constitution is there with me. I have a folder where I put everything together for criminal litigation. So I get out my course outline, I get out my criminal procedure code, and anything that may be relevant as time goes by, it's just there ready to be open. I have a hard copy constitution, but I prefer to use the soft copy when I'm in class so that I can highlight the relevant issues, or also take note on my computer because it's editable on the computer. So yeah, that really does help. And then for sound, my laptop doesn't have very good sound, so I just use my earphones. I just use my earphones because the sound with the earphones just comes out better. So that's what I use during class. And then I also ensure that I look neat so that if I'm told to answer class, I do not look like I just came from bed or something. So I let my hair down. Usually it's tied up. For this hairstyle, usually it's tied up. So I let it down, ensure that it's neat. Then I wear my coat on top of course, my blouse. I wear it on top. Lawyers wear very dark colors. And this is one of the few blazers that I have, really. So I just put it on so that I look like I'm actually going to school, although it is online. And then once that technical side is sorted, I do not like to go to class hungry. So in case I'm feeling hungry, or I had my last meal a long time ago, I prefer to just take a light snack. So I take what is available. Now it's very cold, so I just take hot cocoa. Take a snack. I'll eat eggs, I'll eat biscuits, I'll just find something that is available that's light that I can take, and so that when I'm going to class, I'm not yawning and falling asleep and going through all this level of emotions that are not going to help me intellectually. And then once I'm settled, then I log into class. So join me in class for a couple of minutes, see how it goes when it's online, and then I will tell you what we were learning today. All right. So we've just finished class. We have just finished class. And we were talking about jurisdiction. Jurisdiction in layman's language is the authority of a court to deal with a case. In this specific situation, to deal with criminal cases. That's what we were talking about. The last time we did this class, we talked about the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. In Kenya, we have many courts, many systems, many courts, many courts. We have the Supreme Court, we have the Court of Appeal, the High Court, the magistrates courts, Kadhi's courts. We also have tribunals. Yeah, so today we're looking at the jurisdiction of the Court of Appeal and the jurisdiction of the High Court, which was very interesting because when I've done jurisdiction, when I've thought about jurisdiction, I always just think about the hierarchy of the courts. Then I just switch off, which is why I'm liking this whole process of learning, because now I'm delving deeper into issues that I studied in undergraduate. So today we really delved into how the High Court is actually very powerful. You know, the Court of Appeal is actually ranked higher than the High Court. But we were saying that because the High Court has unlimited original jurisdiction, which means that it has the power to hear cases in the first instance, unlike the Court of Appeal, where you first go to the High Court. If you're not satisfied with the decision of the High Court, is when you go to the Court of Appeal. So basically, the Court of Appeal just reviews. And we were saying, wow, then it means the High Court is actually very, very powerful, because imagine they listen to the case in the first instance, they look at the evidence in the first instance. The Court of Appeal only comes to kind of review. And when you look at it jurisprudentially, jurisprudence really is really the whole concept of studying the law. Yeah, it's actually interesting to discover how powerful the High Court is, something that I actually never thought of. Well, and then also another thing that I learned is that the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. You can appeal, yes, but appealing to the Supreme Court is not does not come by way of right, which means that if you're appealing from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court, it has to be something that is of general public importance or of constitutional importance. But when you're appealing to the Court of Appeal, it is your right to appeal to the Court of Appeal. And I thought, wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. I've always just thought you go from the magistrates court, move up, all the way to the Supreme Court. And it's really nice to discover that other side. We also talk about contempt of court. If you've watched a lot of movies, Suits, and all these movies about courts, you've probably heard of contempt of court. You're in contempt of court. Your Honor, he's in contempt of court. You've probably heard of such things. So really, it's really disrespecting the court. So we've learned about that, and it was just nice to also delve into it. As we are taught, the lecturer will point out to important cases. So like today, she told us to read about Tony Goshoka and another 1999 case on contempt of court. I read it when I was in university, but I honestly have forgotten what it was about, so I'll have to reread it again. And basically, that is how other classes run. You go into class, there's this whole debate, the lecturer explains by way of like verbally or using slides, and then the rest of the class also contributes. Guys get to ask questions, you take your notes, then you log out and move to the next class. Once you're done with the day, then you wait for the next day and you do your other things. So really, I like the whole process. It's interesting, it's intellectually challenging, nothing is easy, but it's doable. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed coming to class with me. I will be sharing more content on me being in school, and also more content on how you as a young person can continue to be a leader in Africa. We want a generation of people who are building this continent, not just for themselves, but their children. And Cynthia Untamed is here for just that. So make sure you check out CynthiaUntamed.com and learn about all the inspiring stories of young people in Africa who are positively impacting their communities. You can also get to learn more about the work that I do through my other platforms: Instagram at Cynthia_Nyongesa, on Twitter at Cynthia_Opera, on LinkedIn, Cynthia Nyongesa. And make sure you share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you in the next episode.